Okay. Anybody has any comment, question? I want to bring any topic. There was one topic that got a little bit, there was some discussion going on after Neeluji put that flower over there. So if somebody doesn't have any other questions, so we can discuss about that a little bit.
Sushil ji had a very nice question towards it, and Venkatesh answered it so well.
Prabhakarji, yes.
Prabhakarji, I beg your pardon. Yeah. Prabhakarji answered it in such a flowery, good language. I felt he had answered for all of us.
So, since we are studying Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads, like in chapter 10, Arjun's question basically was, I'm just giving a sar so that it's relating to this thing. He said, okay, Krishna Bhagavan, you told me everything and, who you are, Brahman and everything. But the truth is, in this world, when I open my eyes, I have to deal with the world. हम लोगों को ऐसा लगता है ना, ठीक है, बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें आपने बोली. How do I see you in this world? You said you are everywhere, So then Krishna Bhagavan, what he said, it's a very poetic. I love that chapter because there's a poetry in it. कि मैं, सारी water bodies में, I'm the Mahasagar, I'm all the Parvats, I'm the Himalayas. Does that mean he's not there in others? No, he's there. It's easier to see God in the glorious thing. Because हमारा ध्यान सबसे पहले वहाँ जाता है. वो ये कहाँ से आया इसमें ये? ओ भगवान से आया है. So, and Swamiji explained it so nicely. He said it's something like somebody asking, I have all these electrical equipments. How do I see electricity? And it is in everything, but it's still not gelling in my head. So he's saying, have you seen that lightning that happens in the sky? And when the lightning happens, it just blasts everything. And, it looks so amazing. He's saying, that's what electricity is. So वहाँ से शुरू करो. But the end of the chapter, he said, अरे मैं कितना बताऊँ? मैं सब में हूँ. It's like there is I don't know the English Sanskrit because I'm not very good at Sanskrit language. There is a statement, like, alas, how can I talk about everything? I'm in everything. So he got tired of telling so many verses. So in other words, if somebody sees a beautiful thing and it reminds them of Bhagwan, that's fine. But in the end, he has to know that Bhagwan is in everything. So it's both.
And I think Sushilji was pointing that we should not think the way the sadhu said that this is now a blessing and whatever. That is what he was probably.
I think that if you have जब मूर्ति पूजा कोई करता है ना, तो अगर वो ये सोचने लगे कि भगवान सिर्फ इसी में है, then there'll be a huge problem. But if yes, you are respecting that murti because you are seeing Bhagwan in it. So that's why you are revering it. That's totally fine. But you have to know both sides. Then it completes the circle. So the danger is that if somebody says, sorry, Sushil ji, kahiye.
No, what I was going to say was that the first thing when I read that and I saw the photo of that flower, then flower looks really good. And you can, if you have some kind of belief in something, and if you believe like you should see Bhagwan in every place, then you're right. You can look at that and see whatever you want to make out of it. What question came in my mind is, if this guy is real and he is so respectful about that, he should not have plucked that flower and destroy it. Why would you do that? If you have that kind of respect, you will not do it.
Very good point. Good point.
So from my point is, sometimes we just forward things which we don't even understand ourselves. We talk about so many messages come through which maybe you even believe or you don't believe. When you believe it, it's fine. Go ahead, do it. When you yourself either don't understand it or you don't believe in it, don't forward all those messages. But this thing in mind is no big deal. If we look at where Prabhakar said, 100% agree that Bhagwan is in every place, every beautiful thing, you look at it. If you have that kind of understanding, you will see whatever you want to see in it. A lot of people don't even after looking at Shivlinga, actual one, they don't really think about that way that, oh yeah, this is something. I'm just saying it's not unbelievable that people do that. There are people who do not look at it in any other way except a stone. We don't look at it that way, but that's other. So I'm just saying that it's not a big point. In my mind, it came out that this guy, I'm talking about that person itself. I don't know him. Maybe he's very devoted and all that. But first thing came to my mind, hey, if you're that reverential of that flower, do not destroy it.
So it's one of those things that in the end we'll never know kiske mind mein kya hai, right? So it just keep that, to me, keeping this Bhagavad Gita thing in mind, that God is in everything, but some people, you get joy in seeing something and like I actually saw one flower in Sthaneshwar ji's house. He showed me that Ganesha flower, and I had never seen it before. So I also got very excited. I took a picture, and I'll forward that picture. It looks just like Ganesha. And, it's like, and anytime I look at that flower, wo Ganesh hi dikhte hai mujhe. Because it looks like Ganesha.
We have seen that also.
Yeah.
And it comes to mind because Ganesha has been really shown in I don't know how many forms. And that flower actually really looks like that, and that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
But that is how much you reverend that. It depends upon what you believe in.
Yeah, and sometimes people pluck flower to offer it to God, and actually it was in Ramayana they show that when Ramchandra ji was plucking flower, that's where he first time met Sita, right? So, but in that prasanga, he's actually doing namaskar to the flower and saying, I'm sorry, I'm hurting you, but I'm taking it for the puja. So he's acknowledging, and even in the Ramayana they say कि जो हनुमान जी को भेजा उन्होंने संजीवनी लाने के लिए, so he was like, first he did the pranam to the Sanjeevani, that I'm sorry, I'm taking you, but I'm taking you for a purpose, not just destroying. So that bhav of reverence, that's definitely good to have, and not unnecessarily pluck it and all that. I personally also don't like to pluck flowers because it stays longer on the stem. You can enjoy it for a longer time. It looks more beautiful, true. But for whatever purpose, if we do it, then you should acknowledge that, hey, I'm doing it for a purpose.
Umaji, you're making me feel guilty. Because if I pluck the weeds and all that.
No, weeds, I mean, we cannot say.
That's life also. That's life.
But yeah. No, we cannot be about weeds, because weeds, you are trying to, kheti badi karne mein, weeding is important. Just like we have to, in our mind, all thoughts, we have to weed out the bad thoughts. So these, if you don't, they will suffocate the good things. So, when we say.
Somebody doesn't think of those things. That's it. This is
unnecessarily, if you are doing it, but if you're doing it even for like the gardener will come and chop the what you call the rose flower stems, because he said they go better. So that's okay. He knows he's doing his job. I don't know what to do about all that, but he's doing it. I cannot think it that way. Sorry.
Respond to Sushilji's question that he had posed to me. I had not seen that flower before. I thought it was very unusual. And it was very charming. So I did want to share it just with that point of view. That's all.
It was very charming. It was like, I had not seen that either.
I had not seen also. I'm very appreciative of looking at it. I'm not commenting upon your posting it. I'm just saying that the person who did that, I'm kind of questioning his motive behind it. If he was really reverential, I would not pluck that flower. It looks so beautiful, so rare. And somebody just saying because it's rare, hey, you are going to get blessed because you saw it. That's my point. Like, whichever way you feel about that, that is your own understanding. No problem with that. Everybody has their own thinking. But I'm glad I brought it up. Got some good discussion on that one. And it clarifies some of the things. So some people came up with very good explanation, and appreciate that, learn something from that. And I would rather maybe everybody brings up something like that so you can, which pertains to what we learned from Geeta and how we have applied it. That's all my question is that, okay, are we applying it in the right way or the wrong way?
I think
That's
it's more personal how you apply, and like I said, that we will never know what that person's intention was, so we can't even go in that arena because we don't know. We are just guessing that, he may be a very pious person and we don't know. So, and the other thing about Bhagavad Gita, like our Acharya used to always tell us that it's a personal journey. So it's more like you internalize it for yourself. Don't even worry what the world is saying and doing, and because we don't know that what they are doing, but it applies to us directly. So that's another point. But
So
anyway.
according to Gita, we don't have to go anywhere to see God because we can see God in everything.
Right. So like
all around us.
this is what it is. Like when we were in that chapter of different yagnas, the upasana we can do, Tirth Yatra and all these, if it inspires you to be a better person, yeah, it's a good thing. But that comes under upasana. But finally, to realize yourself, you have to go within.
Yeah.
But for practice purposes, it's okay. But don't think that by going to Tirth Yatra, तुमको भगवान के दर्शन मिल जाएंगे. That's where the problem is. That ये पानी पी लिया तो ये हो जाएगा. Like I said कि भाई गंगा में बोला कि गंगा में स्नान करने से पाप धुल जाते हैं. और one of the saints said पाप जो है ना वो पेड़ पे बैठ जाते हैं और जैसे ही तुम गंगा से बाहर आओ वापस कूद जाएंगे तुम्हारे ऊपर. But sorry.
I wanted to clarify to Niloji that this was a good one. I'm glad you posted it. I was not talking about this particular one. I was talking in general, some of the messages you post. I just want to clarify, and if I offended you in any way, I apologize for that.
I mean, about the messages, I was, even for the chain that we have for news and all that, उधर इन्होंने जो ने बड़ा explicitly लिखा हुआ है कि positive news डालो. So फिर भी sometimes people put negative and all that, because what is our intention in this class is, to uplift our mind and all that. So sometimes, negative news can just pull you down. I'm not saying things are not happening, but constantly living in that negativity, it is harmful for us.
सुशील जी वो मैंने स्पेशली आपके लिए पोस्ट किया था.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the other thing I wanted to mention that, like those news and all that, those are secondary. The main is the Bhagavad Gita studies. So because there are some people who will probably just keep posting and, but I hope they are also, studying Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad, because those things came as a support thing. Don't make that as a main thing. I mean, none of us over here are doing that, but
So I have one comment similar to Sushil ji. So I used to think stone is a stone. So when I went to this Shivling ceremony, first time I realized when they got the stone, it was a stone. But then everybody did mantra and put their energy in it, put milk on it, all that stuff. It absorbed all of that energy and it converted it into a shivling. And this is what the way it works. Because when people have faith and they put their energy in it, the stone becomes a shivling. Especially on Shivratri, when especially the Jyotirlings, they emit energy back to you when you go there and do the part. But this is the first time I realized that how they converted the stone into a shivling.
Yeah, that's very good point, because even in the mandirs and all that, that's why why the vibrations are good, most of the people go there in humility, right? They go in because there's something higher. You're praying, you are trying to elevate yourself so that everybody's energies are there, for sure. That's why when you go to a temple versus you go to a bar, energy is totally different. Your mind will, absorb that good one versus over there it will be all disturbed. So true that, subtle level, there are a lot of things that happen at subtle level with our thoughts, how they are, it affects the environment for sure.
Okay.
All right. Any other question, point?
I was disappointed to hear that heaven also has problems.
It's a wake-up call, Shireen, that we should look.
No problems,
There will be, yes, there are certain problems that are here won't be there, because it's like all our bodily afflictions and all that won't be there. But if you think everything will go away, that's what he was telling you. That,
because you meet some friends over there also who were not friends here.
yeah, so maybe it will be like a nice vacation.
No, in heaven, Indra is always worried about his position.
Yeah.
So if a rishi is doing tapasya, he will send Manaka so that he cannot complete his tapasya and become Indra.
Yeah.
They do have problems.
That's one issue, and the second issue is it still comes under death to death thing, because that is not permanent. That's another very big important point, that it doesn't mean that you have gotten moksha over there. You've just gone for a little holiday, then you'll be thrown back on the earth. Yeah. Just a temporary position. Okay.
All right.
Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.
See you next time.